Hi, this is Sowmyan. Welcome to my Learn Japanese lesson number 30. My apologies to regular followers on the delay in posting new lessons. I had to improve the sound quality that seemed to suffer over the last few recordings. For newcomers, this is a series on learning Japanese. The lessons have been sequenced in an order and each lesson builds on what has been explained in the previous lessons. If you are new to this language, I suggest you watch the series from the beginning. You may go to my channel Avid Reader 100 in YouTube and find a playlist. If you are familiar with the language and are using this as a random refresh, it's okay to start with this lesson. To give you the context, in the last 5 lessons, we discussed the basics of verbs and their polite form conjugation. In this lesson, I will start giving more examples highlighting usage patterns and sentence structures. The focus so far has been on the verb conjugation, particularly focusing on the formal polite form. We will get to cover the informal plain form in future lessons. Apart from the present and future tenses, the masu form is used to describe habitual actions, general truths, and definite future as per the context. Let us look at the first example. Sato-san wa maiban benkyou shimasu. The verb used here is benkyou suru. Suru is the plain form of shimasu. It is used with many nouns and noun forms to indicate action related to them. Benkyou means study. Benkyou shimasu will be to do study or to study. Benkyou shimasu is the masu form of the same meaning as the plain form. Benkyou shite is the third form. As you may recall, suru is a group 3 verb. Group 3 verbs are also called as irregular verbs. There is no consistent conjugation rule for group 3 verbs. As you find here, I will introduce the plain form verbs, their meaning, the masu form, the te form, as we encounter new verbs. If you take shimasu as a verb, benkyou is the object. So there should be a particle o between them. But benkyou ends with o, and to repeat that is phonetically uncomfortable. Moreover, when you take the entire phrase benkyou shimasu as a verb, there is no other object in the sentence, so there is no o that is used here. Ban means evening. Remember konbanwa? Konbanwa meant good evening. Maiban means every evening. Mainichi is every day. Mr. Sato studies every evening. This implies study is a habitual action. Hence the use of masu form is appropriate here. Let us see another example. Jon-san wa mainichi shimbun wo yomimasu. Yomu is the plain form verb here. It means to read. Yomimasu is the masu form and yonde is the te form. I have shown a dot before the u to indicate this is a group 1 verb. How do we know it is not a group 2 verb? It does not end with ru. There is a group of ru ending verbs that are in group 1, but there are no non-ru ending verbs in the other groups. So it is that simple. Since this is a non-ru ending verb, it is a group 1 verb. You form the masu base by substituting the last u with I in the Romaji spelling. Yomu has the masu form yomimasu. Yomi is the masu base. The te form is yonde. Remember, verbs ending with mu, mu and nu form the te form by substituting these endings with inde. Please keep referring to the table I had described in lesson number 29. You will get to remember this very easily very soon. If you find the te form verb, can you reverse engineer and find the masu form? Unfortunately, no. For example, yonde could have been the te form for yobu, yomu and yonu. Of the three, yonu is not a valid verb. However, yobu and yomu are both valid. Yobu means to call, yomu means to read. Both of them have yonde as the te form. So, when you see yonde, you have to make sense of it based on the context. This is not very difficult. In English also, there are so many context-sensitive meanings of words and word patterns. John is the transliteration of John, John, John. We use Mainichi in the sentence. Nichi means day. Mainichi is every day. We also use the particle O to mark the object of the verb, namely Shimbun. Mr. John reads a newspaper every day is the meaning for this sentence. Let us move on to the third example. Raishu mata kakimasu. The verb here is kakimasu. The plain form is kaku. Another group 1 verb. Knock off the u and substitute the e and append masu. Please note the te form, it is kaite. You replace ku with aite. It is important to remember that the te form loses a lot more than just the last u. Don't try to hang on to the k and think it should be kakite. There is no sign of the second consonant k here. This kind of logic goes for the other forms with gu, bu, mu, nu endings also. This is where we got into the potential conflict between yomu and yobu. Here, kaite could have been the te form if a plain form group 2 verb kairu, K-I-R-U had existed, but such a verb does not exist. Kairu is actually a noun meaning frog, so we are safe. The sentence starts with the word Raishu. Shu is week. Raishu is next week. This means the statement is about the future. Though there is no future tense in the verb form, depending on the context and need, Japanese speakers add such words to indicate the time frame. This is to make the context clear. Mata means again. I am going to write again next week is the meaning of this sentence. So what did we learn? We started with a simple masu form. We saw verbs in their plain form, masu form and the te form together. Every time we got a new verb, we looked at all the three. We also identified that group, reinforced the process of identifying the groups of the verbs. We also checked out some potential ambiguity, as in the case of te form, of yobu or yomu, etc. We checked out some reverse exploration possibilities to see whether a te form can lead to identification of the masu form or the plain form. These are the things we learned in this particular lesson. That brings us to the end of lesson number 30. Actually intended to cover the noun form also in this lesson itself. However, to give a contiguous space for that in YouTube, I decided to push it to lesson number 31. Well, this series continues further beyond 31 also. Go ahead and continue this lesson in lesson number 31. Deva mata gabbata kudasai.